Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer said on Tuesday she had not had any conversation with presumed Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden about being his running mate in the 2020 election. Whitmer, speaking in a live, online Washington Post interview, said she also had not supplied any documents to Biden or his team, though she added she does speak regularly with him. "We've not had that conversation," Whitmer said, adding she was not focused on politics now. Whitmer, who has traded jabs with President Donald Trump, a Republican, about Michigan's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, is widely seen as a potential running mate for Biden and is co-chair of his campaign. The 48-year-old governor, whose state has been one of those hardest hit by the novel coronavirus, has been called by Biden one of the most talented people in the country. Michigan, which Trump narrowly won in 2016, is considered a crucial swing state in the November presidential election. Whitmer has said Michigan would begin reopening its economy on May 1, but has been criticized by some in the state for what they call her overly restrictive shutdown order. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, in a subsequent interview during the same Washington Post event, criticized Trump for tweets that he said had inflamed emotions and opened up the possibility of COVID-19 transmission by protesters who have gathered in several states around the country. On Friday, Trump tweeted, "Liberate Michigan," along with similar tweets naming Minnesota and Virginia, other states with Democratic governors. Residents in several states who want their economies reopened have protested against what they describe as overly restrictive stay-at-home orders. "I'm very disappointed with the rhetoric and messaging coming from the president," Pritzker said of Trump's tweets. "He's fomenting protest. I'm very concerned about what that might mean for the country if he keeps doing things like that," added Pritzker, a Democrat. "I know what he's trying to do. It's a political maneuver in the middle of a national emergency. He should stop it. It could lead to violence," he said. Whitmer on Tuesday called unfortunate a protest last week at the state capitol in Lansing, given how many demonstrators failed to wear masks and gathered in groups. However, asked if she would use police to prevent future protests, Whitmer said throwing a number of people into jail is not a smart strategy when trying to fight a pandemic. New York's Cuomo says he and Trump discuss need for coronavirus tests. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo and President Donald Trump praised their White House meeting on Tuesday as productive, saying it focused on New York's need for more coronavirus testing and how to get it. Cuomo, a Democrat whose state is the epicenter of the U.S. outbreak with nearly 15,000 deaths, said he also stressed the severity of states' budget problems to the Republican president. He described their conversation as honest and open. Cuomo said he sought a face-to-face conversation with Trump to hash out issues around testing, which Trump has at times played down but which health experts cite as an essential step to reducing exposure and enabling a safe reopening. "The president is communicative about his feelings and I'm communicative about what I think," Cuomo told MSNBC after their talk. He said testing volume needed to increase tenfold and leaders needed to discuss how the federal government can help. At a White House briefing, Trump called their meeting productive and said he was proud of the relationship his administration has forged with New York. With social distancing and lockdowns showing results, Cuomo said on Monday he could begin to consider how to reopen a state that ranges from New York City, with more than 8 million people, to farm country and sparsely populated towns. "The tone of the conversation was very functional and effective," Cuomo said. "I stayed focused on what we were there to talk about and for me the substantive agenda was testing, who does what? How do we get it up the scale? And somebody has to stand up for funding for the states." Trump said the federal government will work with New York to help secure additional testing capability. Cuomo told Trump New York City no longer needed the U.S. naval ship Comfort hospital ship to help with hospital overflow.